Hi, my name is Lynwood Smith. For my documentary, I chose to show why African Americans choose not to participate in swimming or how they're held back. To do so, I've shown statistics and common myths that have been held throughout our country's history, and also some actual barriers that prevent African Americans from learning how to swim. Here are some statistics on minorities in swimming, which clearly show African Americans lacking compared to other races. Some more statistics on minorities in swimming are: in the United States, 9 people drown on average a day. Also, drowning is the second leading cause of accidental death in American youth. African Americans are 5 times more likely to drown than Caucasians. Nearly 60 to 70% of African Americans do not know how to swim or have a very low skill level with lots of fear towards swimming and being around water in general. According to a study in 2004, nearly 28% of minorities live below the poverty level, with nearly 57% of African American youth cannot swim compared to only 30% of Caucasian. Myths on lack of participation for African Americans and other minorities include such things as African Americans are less buoyant than Caucasian people, therefore not allowing them to float as well. After segregation, it was common thought that African Americans did not have the ability to swim nor wanted to be around pools. African Americans will not swim because chlorine does not do well for their hair or skin, which has been proven wrong by dermatologists. Some barriers to participation for African Americans and minorities include the following, such as during slavery, African Americans had the ability to swim, but were prevented from doing so by their masters because it was a means of escaping. This in turn created generations of non-swimmers and spawned the myth that blacks cannot swim at all. During segregation, by law, kept African Americans away from swimming pools and beaches. The cost of participation for swimming and taking lessons is very high, and seeing as 28% of minorities live below the poverty level, swim lessons are less important than everyday needs. A very large number of African American parents do not know how to swim, so in turn, they do not need to teach their children how to swim. Also, parents may respond to high drowning statistics and urge children not to participate in swimming. Local governments most often cannot financially support facilities in lower income communities, further preventing minorities and African Americans from learning how to swim. Improving African American swimming rates. Howard University is one of the only historically black colleges with a scholarship swim program, and they work diligently in their community to promote swimming to minority youth. Chuck Weiglas is the director of USA Swimming, and he believes that superstar figures such as Tiger Woods is needed. Cullen Jones provided his answer with the Make a Splash Foundation, which has reached over 325,000 youth in the U.S. since 2007.
Oddly enough, I didn't start off swimming because I wanted to be an Olympic champion. I started because when I was 5 years old, I almost drowned in an amusement park. Being almost part of that statistic of seeing so many African Americans and Latins drowning, that's why I feel like it's so deep in my heart to try to change that. Well, this year I've partnered up with ConocoPhillips, USA Swimming, and Make a Splash to try to help spread awareness. And I'm not only going to be talking to kids, but I'm really focused in on getting the parents involved because I think that that's the first step. Looking at the African American and Hispanic communities, their statistics are so much higher than any other place just because when you have a parent that doesn't know how to swim, most likely a lot of times the child doesn't know how to swim. I would definitely stress the importance of learning how to swim to a parent. You wouldn't put your kid into a car without a seatbelt. It's the same thing with letting your child go to a pool, neighborhood pool. A simple day of just being in the pool can turn into a life-threatening situation if the kid doesn't know how to swim.
African Americans are held back throughout our country's history in swimming by laws and stereotypes. In a sport like swimming, socioeconomic factors can factor into why minorities do not participate. With the help of current athletes such as Cullen Jones, swimming is being promoted to minority youth for their safety and enjoyment.